morning, everybody. Welcome to the M&C show. Hope you got your coffee and your donuts. Let's go.
Hey, you took liberty there. He's like, he added coffee and donuts, Mooch. I don't know what to do with that. I'm crazy. I don't know. But yeah, well, welcome to the M&C show. We appreciate you guys coming out here. It is Sunday morning, right before afternoon. Sorry, we're a little bit late. You know, always trying to do something a little bit behind the scenes before we start. But here we are. Make sure you guys start, share out the stream, all that kind of good stuff. Like it early, like it often, and tell your friends. Tell your friends. And let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend. Here he is, right off the boat from Italy, apparently.
Got here a while ago.
Yeah. Mooch, what's going on, bro?
What's up, buddy? It threw me off there. Nova went off script. I didn't know what to do.
He did. He's like, donuts, coffee. I'm like, where's that on the script?
I'm like, the show. I can't do the show. Listen, we just had an outstanding pre-show. Myself, Crap, and Nova talking about games. We talked about some of the subject lines. Crap, listen, it wasn't the busiest of news weeks, but it really was. It's one of these weeks where your opinion on each of these kind of can outweigh sometimes. You know what I'm saying? More than just a hot breaking news, because I think everyone's so wicked opinionated on release dates and prices and what we can expect. And everyone's over the top, which is great. We're talking games like Tony Hawk, Marvel's Avengers. There's so much to get into. So I'll let you take control. It is on the Crap Gamers channel. Crap, what's the first thing on our docket today?
Well, things leak all the time, right? Like, this is the longest I think we've ever gone without announcements for prices and release dates for these consoles. I don't understand what the heck they're waiting for, to be honest with you. It blows my mind that we're this close, yet, we still haven't got this information yet. So basically what happened was Xbox Series X price possibly got leaked by Pringles. Now Pringles in South Africa actually rumored to have leaked the Xbox Series X pricing. So we're still waiting to see, obviously, what turns out to be true or not. But it looks like of all the different brands, apparently they have some kind of marketing deal with Microsoft. So there's a marketing partnership between South African influencers, Pringles, and Xbox, and gamers are actually kind of fleshing this out a little bit. So here it is right here. According to this, the Xbox Series X promotion costs in their money could be upwards of $600. So yeah, that would be a pretty expensive console price point, in my opinion, to put something out at $599 US. This could be they both could be $599. That's why we're kind of getting this sort of belated situation, while nobody's out there kind of talking about what's going on. I do feel like this is something that it could be a bit of a problem going forward for both Sony and Microsoft. I mean, what are your thoughts in general about the prices and things like that?
I like what you just said a second ago, Crap, and and I'm glad you're feeling better because you couldn't make it on Crossfire, but it was a big discussion piece on Crossfire, and we had Jeff Grubb on, and Jeff even kind of said and alluded to what you're saying. We were saying that the possibility of both of these machines being $599 is very much a possibility of what Microsoft and Sony want to charge us. Doesn't mean it's what we will be charged.
Yeah.
But it may be what they want to charge us to be able to make a small amount of profit on the hardware. I think that's why, and it was really, like I said, it was a really good discussion piece. That's why maybe we're waiting so long is, let's put it this way. If Microsoft comes out and says $599, Sony might say, guess what? We're $599 too. But what Sony doesn't want to happen, and Microsoft, it depends on which shoe you're wearing at the time of the conversation, right? One of them doesn't want to come out at $499 when the other one said $599 and look like, they're going to go into another generation of, oh my God, $100 cheaper for the other console. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, when you're talking about the majority of buyers, not the hardcore, but the casuals, they're not really paying attention to 12.1 versus 10.3. They're not. They just know that PS5 is next generation, Xbox Series X is next generation. So one really doesn't want to be $100 more when it comes to their premium box. So it was an interesting conversation, and that's why when you see these things coming out from Pringles, or who was the other company before? Was it Mountain Dew? I can't remember who did the other one. It leaked on another one too, where it was going to be $5.99. And I think $5.99 is actually what the MSRP probably was going to be.
Yeah.
But now they're both in this stalemate where one wants to say the price. And I really do think at the end of the day, Microsoft goes first. I think Microsoft has to go first, Crap, and I'll tell you why. Sony has games that just released. The Last of Us 2 still making news for the most completed game, most sold game, blah, 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 blah. Ghost of Tsushima broke records in the first 3 days, most digital downloads within 2 days, whatever. The records go on and on. People are still taking screenshots. People still talking about the game. Sony has a leverage right now where they're riding into next generation on a high. They've got games that people are talking about and playing. Microsoft doesn't. So Sony knows also when they first launched, they've got Miles Morales, right? They've got Ratchet and Clank in the window. They've got maybe Demon Souls in the window, the launch window. Microsoft doesn't have anything. So Microsoft has to entice people with what? Price. So they're going to have to go first. And you might go, well, Mooch, what do you mean? You just said that they may say $5.99. I think they're both going to be $4.99 at the end of the day. But Microsoft could very easily say, we have the Xbox Series X coming in at $5.99, and it's a powerhouse. And we have the much more affordable entry level into next generation with the Xbox Series S at $299. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they have a $600 and a $300, where Sony's going to come in and say, okay, now Sony's going to undercut them. If Microsoft does go $5.99, I think Sony goes $4.99 and then goes $4.49 for the all-digital edition. So this is what I think it is. It's a big cat and mouse game. And don't forget, as much as you guys are all getting antsy in the chat, and I am too, we want to know when and how much. Remember, I know you guys aren't a big fan of Apple as much as I am, but Apple introduced something a long time ago, where they come on stage, they mention the prices, they mention pre-orders start next week, and the week after you get your product. So Microsoft and Sony both know that they can fall back on the Apple strategy, which works. We don't like it as gamers, but the process works, crap.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that it would work. For me personally, I just feel like, it's such a mistake of a price point, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like
$5.99?
Just $5.99 just feels.
I don't think they're going to be $5.99, but
Yeah.
they could be, right? They have the two consoles. They have two SKUs, crap.
Yeah,
So Xbox could pull it. They could pull that.
They could, but I mean, part of me thinks the reason why we don't have price points just yet is because it could be that price point. Now, I don't know for sure if it's one or both, but I can imagine that the tech inside both are, listen, we can, and we'll talk about the new cards that got announced. We have that on our topics list, but to get a complete console, I mean, these are powerful consoles, GPU, CPU, everything in there with the solid state drives and everything. That's probably a pretty expensive thing, right? Like, I mean, that's just bottom line is that's an expensive thing. That's why, for me personally, I think of it as sort of an investment. Like, is it worth it? I think that comes down to the individual person and how they feel about it. For me personally, man, $5.99 is right on that outer limit of what I would pay. Like, that's an expensive proposition. Like, that's no longer like like $3.99 for a PS4. That's a good price. Even I think $4.99 is a good price. Then again, sometimes we've seen this happen before. They'll come out with a price leak, quote unquote, to get people to, they're talking to $5.99. That way we're impressed with $4.99, right? So basically they're doing the reverse of what some of the Xbox fans, I've seen them doing, because I've seen Xbox fans go, yeah, they have flexibility. They're going to have that Series X for $3.99. I guarantee it. And that Series S, $1.99. They're going to completely win the generation that way. Right. I mean, that's really setting themselves up to fail the way we did. Remember when the Xbox One X was coming out, and we all said, if they want to be competitive, they better price that thing $3.99. $3.99 better be the price. And then it leaked out that it was $4.99. And I think the reason why they leaked it out, because remember, I guess even Jeff Keighley was like, it was sort of not even really a leak. He just was like, I think they wanted him to do that, because I felt like it would have went over much worse if nobody had heard the price point and they announced it at $4.99 at E3 with nobody having heard it beforehand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we had a little bit of time to sort of have it sink in, and how do we feel about it? Like $3.99 would have been a better price point, but they got it out there for $4.99. Now we know for a fact that the sock itself is more expensive than the Xbox One X. So that in and of itself is telling. They're not going to take a huge loss. I know they say they have some flexibility, but all signs point to Lockhart being real. And do you really even need a Lockhart if you don't have a
right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's my opinion, anyways.
That's
like
the thing, crap. When you get down to it, if let's say Microsoft wants to be real competitive with the Series X, and they make this thing $4.99 or $4.49, or heck, even they really want to push the envelope and go $3.99. I mean, they have a lower price SKU. What's that one going to be? That the S isn't exactly cheap for them to make either. So that thing is rumored to be at $299. It's not going to be $199. It's going to be $299. And if that's $299, I think that the Xbox Series X is either going to be $499 or $599. And it depends. It really depends. Sony is going. Here's my thing. If the Xbox Series X is $499, I think Sony probably matches crap.
Yeah, I think so too.
Here's why. They've got the leverage, okay? They've got the games, and they've already got the install base. So they've already got a lot of things already on their side moving forward. So they can make their money, not lose too much, and move forward there. They can also take the all-digital edition and say, do you want to go do you want to upgrade the next generation with us? Guess what? We're $50 cheaper than the competitor. Again, yes, the hardcore are well aware of the 12.1 versus 10.3. But I got news for you. The person that's playing Madden, Call of Duty, NBA 2K, those folks, those gamers, those casuals, if you want to call them that, the casuals don't care. My friends that play, like I have a friend of mine, he got NBA 2K21 the second it came out, and he will play that game. I'm not kidding you, crap. He'll probably put well over 1,000 hours into it.
Jeez,
okay,
yeah.
But if I told him, oh man, dude, you're not playing that on the 12.1 teraflop, he'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even care. He doesn't. For him, the Xbox One S is doing everything he's ever wanted. Do you see where I'm going with this? And
yeah,
that's the mass market crap.
Well, listen, I agree. I think that there is that sort of gamer that does that and sort of looks at things that way. Like, hey, well, I already have this. Why do I need that? They're not really going to see a huge difference or whatever. And I think that's good for them. But I personally just feel like, it's just so odd to me that I know there's extenuating circumstances, right? Like I get that. I just feel like for me personally, I just feel a little bit kind of the less hype because of it. You know what I mean? Like here we are, literally, it's the 6th of September, and these things, like there's a rumor that the Xbox should be out by the 6th of November, right? Or the 3rd or whatever it is. That's 2 months. Rumor, yeah, that's 2 months from now. How in the world do we not have a release date or a price? I don't understand it at all, but I kind of want to transition that into the Nvidia stuff. Now, you're more of a PC person to me, even though you're not really a PC person either. But they came out with these new 30 series cards. Yes. Do you feel like those stole the thunder from Xbox Series X and PS5?
Hey, listen, that's a great question you asked, crap, and I'm glad you kind of posed the question because a lot of people are running with that. I don't think you're talking about the same customer. Shout out to Delirium Blades who's in the chat. Me and Blades were hanging out this morning and we were talking all about the cards. Listen, I'm upgrading my PC for sure, right? Okay, great. And listen, that's not just me and Blades talking about it. That Phil Spencer talked me into getting into PC and not having as many Xboxes in the house. So, tip your cap to Phil for that one. But I mean, in all honesty, I got to be frank with you, crap. This is two different customers, man. I don't see the Nvidia cards, the 3070, the 3080, or 3090, especially not the 3090, being in the conversation for somebody we're all sitting here. You see how passionate everybody is in the chat about $499 better be the most. I'm not going a penny over it. Okay, Mooch? I'm not going a penny over $499.
Yeah.
Well, listen, even if you were to buy a 3070, right, which I believe is retailing for $499, you still need to buy a box. You need to buy RAM. You need to buy, a CPU. You need to buy if you're really
like
into
if you're
RGB
new
colors and your fans lit up and everything else. I mean, there's just so much: a keyboard, a mouse, a monitor. So even if you were to go on the cheap side, crap, and you told me you were going to get in on a 3070, I still think you're somewhere between $1,100 and $1,400 at the end of your purchase. Is that the same customer? I don't think so.
Yeah, and I think you're right, because here's the thing. PC, especially lately, has always been shining brighter. It's always, if you want to spend the money, you can even before these consoles. I mean, even without those new PC parts announced, if you wanted to spend enough, you could still get way better performance and way better stuff for a PC than you could Xbox Series X or PS5. That's literally like how it's always pretty much been ever. Like, you can make an exception when you say the PS3 and Xbox 360, like that era was specifically, you know, those consoles were like pretty much better than the average PC at that time. Do I think it really stole the thunder? I don't really think so, because the cheap one itself, which is what I don't know what the
3070.
Yeah, which was still what, $500,
$500,
and that's just for that one part. Okay, that's like not counting everything else, you know.
Yeah, that's where I don't get I don't even see where this came up.
Yeah, so I don't get it either. I think it's just, you know, and if you play on PC, hey, more power to you. I think that's fine.
Right.
As long as people are gaming, I'm perfectly content with that. Yeah.
Crap, can I make one caveat though? There is hold on, there is something I'm forgetting that I just thought about. I guess this is where it possibly could come into play. Crap. Let's say you had you do.
Yeah.
Crap, you do have a PC. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me put it this way, and I know that this doesn't pertain to you, but I'm using you as an example. Let's put it this way, Crap. Let's say you've had enough. You're like, well, listen, Mooch, I don't know why I'm buying a Series X. There's no first party games coming out. Nothing that I can't play on PC anyway. If you decided to take the graphics card out that you have right now, and you put in a 3070, guess what?
I don't think it would work.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the rest of your specs, but I can tell you this much. There's only one or two other parts. You already have. My point is, you have the infrastructure. You may have to change 2 or 3 components, but hear me out. That's the customer maybe where they say the Xbox Series X and possibly even PS5. See, PS5 I think is in its own world because PS5 has exclusive games. So you can't say, well, I'll build a PC and I'll play Miles Morales. No, you won't. So my point being is that with the Series X, I think where people are making the argument is they have the chassis, they have everything built. Now what they're saying is all I need to do is remove it and buy 1 or 2 components. Now, Crap, this is a different situation. If I said to you, all you need is a CPU upgrade, a slight one, you don't have to go buy the expensive one. Go buy a slight upgrade and then get that $500 card, and you're playing all of Xbox's games at a better frame rate and at a better graphical fidelity. Everything's fantastic because you know the 3070 is going to blow the Xbox Series X out of the water according to the stats sheets. So there is a customer out there where, yes, I would say that the 3070 possibly did actually talk them out of an Xbox Series X. Because don't forget, you have the game bar. You have basically Xbox Live on your PC for free. You no longer have to pay for Xbox games, Xbox Live Gold. So the money that you are putting into those extra few components, Crap, into your PC, you'd make back in 2 years without having to pay for gold and the other things that you get for free on PC. So my point being here, in a long story short, is there is a customer that will make out buying the 3070. But for the most part, if you're strictly a console gamer, if you're you don't have a gaming PC in your home and you're just playing on the Xbox One X, no, the 30 series cards will not deter you from buying an updated Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was hoping to hear as well. You know, just in my opinion, like people go, well, does this turn you off of getting a new console? And to be honest with you, not even in the least. Okay. Hey, as we cross 500 viewers live, please hit the like button, everybody. Let's get up over 200 likes. Let's get it. Yes. Yeah, let's get a bunch of likes going.
Share it out.
Yeah, share it, all that kind of good stuff. Let's get a bunch of people in here. We're talking video games. There's a lot of stuff to cover, so it should be a fun show. We enjoy having you guys here and talking, and we'll listen to some of what you got to say in the chat as well. If you guys got questions or comments, let us know what's going on. So for me personally, I'm not a PC guy, so that stuff had absolutely no bearing whatsoever in my thoughts about next gen. No. Even if like I'm not interested in the Series X, it isn't because I can play those games on PC. It's because if there was something to play, I would get one. Okay, like so far I haven't really seen a big reason to play or to buy an Xbox Series X, and maybe that'll change suddenly or whatever, right? Maybe that'll change and they'll be able to entice me or entice other people. But so far, to be honest with you, I've seen as little hype as I've ever seen for a new console generation for the Xbox Series X. Like I see next to no hype for that outside of like the little bubble on Twitter, right? Like there's not really much going on for it. And I think a lot of that does have to do with the fact that everything is day and date on PC on that side as well. So you can actually play all their stuff better. Plus you don't have to pay for Xbox Lives and things like that. So that is one of the arguments that I've seen for a PC upgrade for Xbox, right? Not for PlayStation, because you can't play those games on PC. So for me personally, have you seen it where people go, well, if you want Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, that's another 180 a year. You don't have, you know what I'm saying, like on a console. Okay, right. So you necessarily don't need that on a PC. So, like, I do see a lot of people kind of sit there and go, oh, well, you know, it really adds up on console. Or if you need gold, which, by the way, we should cover that a little bit as well. You don't need gold on a PC. You know, like PC sells games cheaper digitally day one than we get on consoles. It's just a fact.
Just before we switch subjects, Crap, I'll say that I'm kind of on the topic at hand. I'm a 50-50 situational consumer here, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I have an Xbox One X in my office that I play and I Twitch stream off of, okay? And then I have one in my family room because, as we've said, after a long day at work, love to come home, have a drink on the coffee table, play some games, be in touch with the community. So am I still going to buy an Xbox Series X day one? I'm buying one, and this does depend on what the trade-in value is, but I assume we're going to get somewhere between $200 and $250 for our X's. So I'll keep my Xbox. I will have an Xbox Series X in my family room. But hear me out, Crap. I am no longer going to have an Xbox. Where I usually bought two, I'm buying one. And I'm not buying one for my office because the PC, if Microsoft has a game that's worthy of playing or Twitch streaming, I will play it on the PC. So they're only where, you know, they go, Mooch, well, it doesn't matter. They're getting one from you. Fine. But they used to get two. Yeah. So they're not anymore, right? So that's my case. Now PlayStation, I'm going to have two PS5s. I'm going to have one in the office for Twitch streaming and gaming, and I'm also going to have one in the family room because I want to play, again, on my couch. Listen, I love what PC's done. I've definitely become more of a PC fan in the past 2 years, Crap, but wholeheartedly, where's my heart? My heart is forever. I grew up as a console gamer, and I'm sorry, I that'll never go away. We call it convenience, call it being a part of the community, call it just sitting in your living room. And don't give me this whole Steam big picture thing. And I'm not bringing my tower into my family.
Well, do you see the size of the tower you're going to need for those new cards? You're going to need a big old tower.
Hey, Crap's coming over to game. Do we need another seat? No, he can just sit on my tower.
Yeah, he can just sit on my tower. Come on, man.
Sit on the tower, Crap.
It'll be fine.
Sure. Yeah. So, you know, my point being is that I'm diehard console. I'll always continue to buy consoles. But Microsoft did lose that other purchase from me. And I think from some others that I've talked to in the community, Crap, there's some people that are going, I'm going from 2 to 1. There's some going from 1 to none.
Yeah, you know, and I here's the thing. I could see that, right? Like I absolutely see where people would say, and I want there to be competition, but I could see where people go, you know, I don't really see a reason, and I'm seeing a little bit of that more and more. You know, and then on the Xbox side, I really thought they would have had their act together by now. Like I had hoped, because listen, we were all, well, me and you and, you know, a few other people were really honest and upfront about, hey, you know, Microsoft really need to get things together, get their game situation together. And we were kind of told by people who maybe knew a little bit better than us that, well, don't worry, they're prepping everything just to get ready for that launch for next gen. And then here we are launching next gen, and it literally the only thing that they had was Halo, and then that's not even a thing right now. So, you know, that's really sort of disheartening, to say the least. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, it's super upsetting that we haven't been able to sort of lock down anything in terms of, you know, what are they actually going to do? What are they going to bring to make you want to buy that thing? And it can't be old games, right? That's not old games is not a reason to buy, you know, a next gen console. It's just, honestly, it's just not a reason, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And I hope that they can bring something out. Like I saw Optimus Code. I don't know, like I know, like you did a video with him. You guys were in a Salty show on Thursday, right?
Thursday night.
And I saw him on Twitter talking about some things that Microsoft has a couple of unannounced launch games. I can only hope that's true. Like, I know people think that I hate Xbox or whatever, but give me a reason to buy an Xbox. Give me one. I'm looking for one, right? Like, I'm getting the new TV. You know, I'm really waiting for these next gen consoles. I want to experience what they both have to offer, but Microsoft has to give me something to offer, right? Like, they got to give me something that I really want to sit there and go. What's up to everybody in the chat? I appreciate you guys. Share out the video, like it. Let's get up over 200 likes. I think that would be great. Mean a lot to me if you guys do that. Subscribe. Hey, subscribe to Mooch. Subscribe to Nova. Great guys as well.
Yes.
Mooch is pushing that 10K, man. He wants to.
We're so close, Crap. We're 300 away.
We are. We're so close. We're so close. But
give me to 100, please.
Yeah, you're not at 100 yet, man.
No,
we gotta get you.
Let's get Nova to 100.
Get you there.
Run it up, guys.
Let's get Nova up. Let's get Nova over 1,000. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get him there. Come on, guys. You guys can do that. He does a pretty good show.
You guys have the power. We're just talking. It's
Exactly.
your power. Yes.
So it does kind of lead us into when are we actually getting the PS5 and Xbox Series X prices and release dates? We've heard so many different things, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but and do you think that it matters? Like if Xbox launches a week before,
No.
do you think that matters a lot, or do you not think that matters?
It did matter before what happened to Halo.
Yeah.
Now that there's no seemingly, I mean, I know, Aaron Greenberg said they still have something to show, and there's rumors that there's still, if Microsoft has something to show, okay, crap, and it's something worthy of a day one buy, then a week ahead of time, it plays a bit of a role. Right now, as we stand today, it doesn't matter, and Sony knows it doesn't matter. So if Sony was planning November 13th, like the rumors are out there swirling, and Microsoft is November 6th, it truly doesn't matter. Crap, Sony's launching with at least Miles Morales and Godfall. Okay, so that's 2 games. Whether you like those games or not, listen. I know the minute I bring that up, everyone's like, "Oh, it's not for me, Mooch." I got it. I get it, dude. There's a lot of through my years of gaming, there's been plenty of times I took a new console home and I wasn't necessarily high on the games that I had to play, but I played them and I enjoyed them for just the graphical boost upgrade that we could get, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to enjoy Godfall. I know that you guys may not share that sentiment, and that's fine. But I truly can't wait to play Godfall. And to be honest with you, Miles Morales, listen, I platinum Spider-Man. You guys know how critical I was on Spider-Man because until Insomniac Spider-Man came out, crap, I honestly could give a crap. I really did.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Swing to the left. Swing to the right.
You forgot the cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, cha-cha-cha. Yeah.
There's a center part there. There's actually a dancing ensemble you left out. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, my point being, crap, is that it's a fantastic game, and I love what they did with it. Now, if they're going to offer us a PS5 remastered version of that, which is the rumor alongside Miles Morales, listen, crap, I'm there day one. And I beg to differ. The other, 18 million people that bought Spider-Man aren't going to follow suit. So they're all going to be there, and it was one of Sony's biggest sellers. So is Sony necessarily worried that Microsoft launches 6 days before them when they don't seemingly have a first-party big wowzer game to impress with that 12 teraflop machine? I don't think so. I don't think that matters.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters either. I think that what's interesting to me about that is Spider-Man is such a big name, right? Like people see that name and they buy it, that's that brand recognition. Realistically, that's something that can't be overstated or understated, to be honest with you. When you go to that store or whatever and you're like, hey, I want to get my PlayStation 5, well, give me Spider-Man with it. I think that a lot of people are going to do that. And there was this recent poll, and Spider-Man Miles Morales was the #1 most wanted game. That blows my mind. And even stuff like Gran Turismo 7, which isn't confirmed as the launch game yet, but even that and Demon Souls were on the list as wanted games for the launch. So people know what's coming in on the Xbox. Yeah, on the Xbox side, it's like there's not much there to get really excited about. And I do think that's kind of sad because when we got the Xbox One X, Mooch, people were genuinely excited about this thing. You could feel it in the air. It was like everybody was talking about it. There was big events. We're already seeing, Sony do things and do commercials and stuff. We're 2 months away and we're not seeing anything on the Series X. When is this thing going to come out? Is the Series S real? Is it going to launch at the same time? Do you think it's super weird, Mooch, that we haven't seen a confirmation on this thing? It's real because we see stuff leaking on it all the time. But are they maybe having second thoughts about it? Do the cards that are coming out make that even less attractive now? In your opinion, what do you think is Microsoft doing? Do you feel that the Series S or Lockhart is real? Do you think that they're going to release that at the same time? Do you think they're having second thoughts? What is your thoughts on that?
I don't know I don't know what, I think your question you're poisoning me right now is what is Xbox's plan? What is their thought on how to attack a launch?
Yeah, what is their? Do you think that they're still actually going to do that? Are they going to still come out with the S? Is it going to come out at the same time?
Crap! I think they're full steam ahead on that. I think the S is going to launch right alongside. I originally thought that if you go back to May, June of this year, I thought that they were going to go ahead and not go head to head with Sony, right? Remember, guys, now it's Monday morning quarterback. Now you know what's going on with Halo. You know about delays. Okay, we didn't know this back in May. I thought that Xbox was going to go head to head with Sony have their most powerful console of all time, have probably the best at the time. Okay, guys, we're all back in May now. This is so if you're tuning in, I'm giving you a synopsis of what we said back in May, June. Crap. I thought they were going to go head to head with probably the best Halo of all time coming out in Infinite. I thought they were going to have the best and most powerful console in the Xbox Series X. And I thought that they would have a Series S come out, maybe be released or just at least talked about in E3 next year, or E3 timeframe. Maybe not E3 the show, but E3 timeframe. Okay. So my point being was because you don't want to split your hardcore. The hardcore go out and buy day one. Let the hardcore go out there and buy that 12 teraflop machine. Now things are different. I think that the Series S launches alongside of it. I think it's going to be much more affordable because, as we were saying, again, I don't mean to do selfish plugs here, crap, but we mentioned it on Crossfire. Right now, to be honest with you, Microsoft's only attack against Sony, its console, and its games is price point. So they can only do so much with the price point of the Series X, but they could really try to get people in with that very attractive $299 Xbox Series S price point, and I think that's their strategy moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a strategy, but you have to wonder, like, the hardcore probably aren't going to be super interested in the Series S. I mean, you're either gonna want to get the Xbox Series X or the, and the casuals don't upgrade day one. So that leads me to believe either maybe it won't launch side by side with the Series X, or it'll come slightly after, a few months later. Because, like I said, hardcore want that most powerful thing, right? And the casuals don't upgrade day one regardless. So to be honest with you, I don't understand exactly who the Xbox Series X would be for at launch anyway. So it is a little bit kind of like you kind of scratch your head a bit, like, what's going on with this? And to those who did ask, yeah, we did cover the whole Pringles leak or whatever, that the Xbox Series X could possibly be $600. And man, that would be a heck of a price, to be honest with you. But in terms of the PlayStation 5 mooch, there's a UK retailer, and I have the article right in front of me. He expects the PS5 pre-orders to go live any day now. But here was the very interesting part, okay? It's from this online retailer in the UK called Simply Games, and he says that the PS5 pre-orders will go online any day. But more worryingly, he thinks that the PS5 may not go on general sale due to limited stock. So there's an email going out to customers right now, and the online retailer states that we are expecting to see the PlayStation available for pre-order any day now, and you don't want to miss out on the next generation of gaming. But in the next paragraph, the games and console seller seems to have reason to believe that the PS5 will not go on general sale due to limited stock. So the only way to secure a PS5 on launch would be to make sure you get a pre-order in. Right. So again, this is very interesting to say the least. PlayStation 5 might not go on general sale. The only way you can do it is register through Sony themselves. Yeah. It's very worrying to me because at this particular, I'm all in on PlayStation 5, and now it's possibility. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Even if your numbers are slightly off, I'm not asking you to get down to the decimal point. Okay. Can you just think back real quick, back to 2013? How many PlayStations? It doesn't matter which one you answer. Let's just use PlayStation as the example. How many PlayStations were sold at the launch of the PS4 in that first, let's say November, December, including the holiday? How many were purchased then?
I think it was a couple million.
Wasn't it around 3 million?
Yeah, it was a million or so. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, if everybody could just follow me for a second, crap, please tell me if I'm wrong. Let's go ahead and let's give them the benefit of the doubt. In 2013, let's say it was 4 million. Okay. Sony has 5 million prepared, and we've already heard that they're ramping up to 10 million for this holiday.
Yeah.
I understand the demand is high, and we're hearing a lot of noise and traffic in the gaming community. Okay. But we are in a situation right now globally. The number may be higher than 3 or 4 million, but if Sony's prepared with 10 million, I think a lot of this, you're not going to be able to get a console. The same thing's happening with the 30 series cards. We were talking about it this morning before the show. They're saying that the 30 series cards are going to be in very, very short stock supply. People aren't going to get, very few people will get it this year. The majority will have to wait till after the new year. Okay, listen, this is a lot of hype prop up by marketing. I'm not saying it's not true. But what I'm saying to you is the PS4 was very much regarded as a very exciting console, and everybody couldn't wait to get their hands on it. and there was 3 to 4 million sold in the first 2-month window, including Christmas holiday time. Okay, folks. What I'm trying to say to you is, if Sony's prepared with even 5 to 7 million consoles, they're prepared. I guess I'm missing the point here. I don't understand where everyone's saying you're not going to be able to get. You may not get your pre-order in, but I think you're going to have a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. I don't think we're going to go from 2013, where they sold 3.5 million in a 2-month window, to where they're going to sell 100 million in a 2-month window. Everyone's freaking out, and I think it's just propaganda. And I think it's very smart on Microsoft, Sony, and Nvidia to say these things, because what does it make you do? I gotta have it. I gotta get it. I'm taking a day off from work. I'm gonna march in line. I'm sleeping over in front of GameStop. I don't care if it's 6 feet apart. I'm gonna be there, right? Everybody's freaking out. Everybody, calm down. If Sony's ramping up production to even flirt with 10 million, I mean, crap. Please tell me if I'm wrong. You will have a PS5 if you want one this holiday, if they're in fact ramping up. Is this not true?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do. You know what I mean? I think that for me personally, I want to see that PlayStation 5 hooked up to my new TV and everything.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, pointless. So I definitely want to see.
I want 2 of them. So I mean, look at me. I can't wait. You know. I mean, I hear you, dude.
That might be hard. You might have to go to 2 different places. But yeah, like, do you think that there's a chance that these things might only be available online to people that are sort of like searching online and things like that, or do you think that we're going to see that we're going to actually be able to go to a GameStop or whatever? Because there is a little bit of worry there that, we might have to, go online or whatever to be able to do that. For me personally, I want to be able to go and do the GameStop thing. I know that sounds lame or whatever.
No, that's where I'm going.
Yeah. Console launch is always a hallowed thing to me. Go there. Get your stuff or whatever. I think that's exactly what I'm looking forward to doing. So I'm definitely gonna be going to, and that's what I would prefer to do. Now, if I have to do it,
value.
Exactly, right? Like, I have some stuff that I could trade in. I got an old launch PS4 still, or not a launch one, but
I have 2 PS4 Pros. Crap, they're both getting turned in. Listen, it's already been stated. I know we're probably gonna get into the back compat stuff in a second, but PS4 games are going to be back compat with PS5. So your PS4, I mean, I understand if you guys are collectors or you guys have a museum in your house, that's fine. That's fine. But if you're not that guy and you're just concerned about playing your games, your PS5 is going to play your PS4 games. Get that $250 in your pocket. That's why when people are like, oh my God, I didn't get my email from Sony yet. I'm probably not going to be able to get my PS5 through Sony. Who cares? I don't want to get it through Sony. I want to get it where at GameStop, I walk in and I hand them a PS4 Pro. They better give me at least $250 for it. And on a $500 machine, I'm walking out paying $250 for the newest tech.
Are you going to trade it? Are you going to trade in your Spider-Man PS4 Pro?
Absolutely. It's actually the first one.
Oh, you're going to, man. I'm going to trade in the Spider-Man one, dude.
It's bright red. You know how ridiculous that looks in my family room? I can't wait to get the white one. I hope PS5 comes in a matte black like we're seeing, because that would be my favorite. But
did you see the mock-up with the colors on the buttons? That looked awesome, I thought.
I did.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing. I hope the panels are swappable. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they can sell you panels or whatever, and then you can change them out yourself or whatever. I think that'd be cool. And we get the Xbox Pope. Maybe he could design some panels for us or something. Yeah, he could.
Working. Yes, he might be in the chat. You never know.
He could design us some M&C logos for those. I think that would be incredible. I would absolutely love that. I think that it's great. Hey, everybody watching, as we get closer to 700 people watching in the chat, please hit the like button. Let's get up over 300 likes. That would be great.
Tweet it out.
See how you do that, Mooch? You got to get people to, give them a goal, right?
Yes.
You got to keep people goal oriented, and that's what I'll do. So let's get up over 300 likes. We'd appreciate it. We're going to keep things moving onto our next bit of topic of conversation. So Mooch, the Xbox games go day and date to PC, right? We know this. They go day and date to PC. This is something that has been going on since 2016. Now, the thing that I want to talk about is the last time Microsoft officially announced any numbers for the Xbox Series X or whatever, for the just in general, it's very interesting because they announced 14 million sales in 2014. Now there was some EA stuff that sort of leaked out in around 2016 that put it at around, I think, 28 million to 30, somewhere along that particular line.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with that being said, it's very interesting to me that so you go up to 2016 and let's just say they sold 30 million. Okay. Now in 2000, as of March of this year, 2020, AMD had put out their report that they were actually only putting out they put out 150 million GPUs or whatever between PS4 and Xbox One. The interesting thing was Sony just announced 109 million sold. So that left 41 million left for Xbox One. That means since 2016, they've only roughly sold 11, maybe 12 million more consoles since that point. Yeah. To me, you can attribute that to a lot of things. But the main thing that I attribute it to is the fact that their games were available day and date on PC. I think that no matter who tries to spin it,
absolutely,
it does take away a console identity. Gears of War, as soon as that happened, became less of a console thing, like a less of a must-have play game. You know what I mean? And it really hampered sales. So I feel like Sony should definitely stay far away from doing that, in my opinion. And a lot of people, because of that recent report, like on page 50 or something like that, where they're like, they want to dabble or whatever term that is that they used, right? Was like dabble in or explore and people more, took that as that confirms it. Day and date PC, it's all over for PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason why Xbox fans do this, and they're afraid to admit this, and I don't see why. You're going to get a little bit of backlash for being honest, but I think that the console should have games exclusive that are only on that, right? Like PC gets it, other platforms get. Like, why not have something exclusive to your platform that nobody else gets? Give people a reason to buy your platform. Now, even if it's timed, I think that that's perfectly fine as well. But Xbox fans are afraid to admit that they hate all their games going to PC. They hate the fact that Microsoft actually put out more games on PC this year than Xbox, right? Like it's kind of ridiculous. So they want PlayStation to do the same thing. Not because they quote unquote are happy that other people get to play the game. That's just a nonsense kind of thing that they say so that other people will feel like, they're being, pro gamer or whatever. They only want that to happen because they know it'll piss off PlayStation gamers, right? Just the way that they're pissed off about it. But the thing that I would point out here is this article from a few months ago where they interviewed Herman Hulst, who was the president of PlayStation Studios, and he said very, very, very bluntly, he says, we're very committed to dedicated hardware as we were before. We're going to continue to do that, and we're going to be very committed to quality exclusives and to strong narrative-driven single-player games. At the same time, we're going to be very open to experimentation, to new ideas, just trying things out to see what works. I think that's very much part of the DNA of Worldwide Studios. Now, they also mentioned putting games on PC, and particularly they were talking about Horizon Zero Dawn and what does it mean for the future. And he says, I think it's important that we stay open to new ideas of how to introduce more people to PlayStation and show people maybe what they've been missing out on. And to maybe put a few minds at ease. These are his words. Releasing one first-party AAA to PC doesn't mean that every game now will come to PC. In my mind, Horizon Zero Dawn was just a great fit in this particular instance. We don't have plans for day-and-date PC releases, and we remain 100% committed to dedicated hardware.
Well, I think that quote that you just read, Crap, really speaks volumes, does it not? Doesn't that kind of answer the question?
Yeah. I mean, he says it flat out. Flat out.
This is the thing. Listen, so the idea that we say, well, is Sony going to put... Sony already has games, like you just said. Horizon Zero Dawn's on there, okay? They have Death Stranding on there. My point being is this. Sony, and we've been saying this for a while, knows that they have a entry ticket, okay, or they have a meal. I'm always hungry. They have a meal on their console that you can only get if you buy the console. So they're not going to stop providing that service for the console. They're going to go ahead and make $60, and now people are buying probably 70-30 digital over physical, Crap. So now they're buying it at their digital store. They're making more money than they were when you were buying it at Walmart and Target. So they're making more money. They're going to make that. They're going to take – and listen, here's the question mark. Does Sony keep those beloved titles for 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months? Guess what? As a console gamer, who cares? Because legitimately, you're playing the game when it first comes out. If the game happens to go on sale 3-6 months later, the rest of the folks that didn't get a chance to play it are going to go buy it on sale crap. And then if they want to double dip on PC 12 months, 24 or 36 months later, so be it. It doesn't diminish the title. It doesn't diminish the console. And it doesn't diminish the red carpet treatment these games get at launch. So those are the three things that Microsoft kind of took away from the console space when they went day and date with PC and Game Pass and basically everywhere. It takes a little bit of that shine off. And I know people don't want to agree with me, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with me because sometimes it's really hard to put this into words, but sometimes it's just a feeling, right? Like part of the great thing that always used to exist, and I feel bad for a lot of the new gamers coming up through the ranks right now that don't get a chance to enjoy all the midnight releases. Midnight releases used to be such a fun thing to be a part of. So those are going away. Now everybody kind of has a midnight release digitally at home. Everybody kind of logs on at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time and plays with their friends. And they kind of have their own rendition of it at home. But Sony knows they don't want to lose that feeling because that feeling brings money along with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing I'm trying to say here, Crap, is that Herman Hulst basically said it in that quoted document you just read. That's the point I'm trying to make here, that they're going to explore it. They're going to put games on PC when they feel it's time and when it's ready, but they're not going to diminish or take away from the console space or the red carpet event that these games like The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War 2, you know what I mean? Horizon Forbidden West. These games deserve that red carpet treatment, and advertising and billboards and TV commercials. And Sony's going to keep doing that to give these games their rightful due. So that being said, Crap, I don't have any issues for the foreseeable future. Now, if there's no PlayStation 6 in the future and everything's on PC, well, of course everything's going to be going to PC. That's fine. PlayStation will become an app like Xbox is aiming to do, and that's what it'll be, and that's fine. But right now, no major concerns at all. I think Herman Hulst said it actually eloquently, and he said it to the point.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just feel like get it, you know, they're saying he says, hey, we're a console company, we're a hardware company, and we're going to continue to focus on that with great exclusives. And I think that makes the most sense. What people don't realize is there's a whole bunch of PS4 games that they could do. I don't see them doing a bunch anyway, but you know, you could go back and do God of War in time for God of War 2 to release on the PS5, right? And I don't think many people are going to really have a problem with that, to be honest with you. I think people are going to be perfectly fine with that situation. And that might entice people to go buy a PlayStation 5 to play the sequel. Right? Like, in my opinion, anyway. I mean, what do you think about that? Like, do you feel like that's a good way for them to sort of entice people to do that?
I do. I do think so. By the way, you have an outstanding super chat from Jessica. She's fantastic. Gotta love Jess.
Oh, dang. Nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. And not even a question or anything, but yeah, the first super chat of the day. That's awesome.
Support. That is outstanding. Jessica, thank you. I appreciate that. I know Crap appreciates that. Nova does. That's fantastic. Outstanding.
Yes.
No, hey, Crap, I apologize. I was just reading the chat. So what was your question? Poise that again. I apologize.
I was just saying, what the hell was I saying? Sorry.
That's great.
I was saying that they've got, you know, wouldn't it be smart for them to release, say, God of War, the PC, before God of War 2 comes out on PlayStation 5?
Yes, you mentioned this last week, Crap, and I completely agree. Why would they go and launch God of War 2, which, of course, we're all speaking in hypotheticals here, folks, because God of War 2 hasn't been announced yet, of course. But why would they launch a God of War 2 day and date when they haven't even launched God of War 1 on PC yet, Crap? So that is 100% accurate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying you might not even see PlayStation 5 games on PC at all next generation. I mean, they might not do that at all. Just the way, like, okay, like PS4 games, once they got added to PlayStation Now, it took PlayStation Now off of TVs, off of like Vita, off of all that stuff. Because if you were going to play a PlayStation 4 game, they wanted you to buy a PlayStation 4, and that makes the most amount of sense, right?
Right.
So when it comes to this stuff, yeah, God of War's a great game. Maybe in 2022, before they release the next one or whatever, release that one on PC, the people will see how great a game it is and maybe buy a PlayStation 5. I feel like that's something that could realistically play big for them. Like, that's huge. That's huge. Like, unbelievably huge. I think that's a super smart idea.
So you're right. Maybe next generation on PC crap, you'll see PS4 games slowly kind of approach the PC space, which why not?
Exactly. So why not do that? Why not get people, really excited for the future? And he even says they're a hardware company. I don't know why people assume that they have to do everything the same way. Like, I'm not even asking for Microsoft to do all single player games or just because Sony does that, right? I'm not asking them to do that. The thing that I'm asking for them to do is to do quality, because when you look at, even Herman Hulse says, you're doing quality games here, right? We're doing quality games. Like, Microsoft can do their own type of games, but they have to get the quality up there. They have to really kind of grind out the quality, get that quality to where you can expect people to sort of go out there and go, hey, that's a great quality game. Because that's what happened to me when I was sitting there playing God of War, coming off of the State of Decay 2, excuse me. You saw a huge quality differential there, right? It was crazy. Nine Live says, how does it affect you if a PS4 game goes to PC? Well, it doesn't affect me if I'm already on PS5. If you put a PS4 game day and date on PC, it affects me greatly because there's no more need for that console, right? Like, here's the thing. You can sit there and be an Xbox fanboy and go, who cares if it goes over here or over there? Who cares how many consoles they sell? If you're playing multiplayer, like, I don't want to play against people that are streaming their crap on a phone. And I don't want to play against PC people. Like, no. I want to play against other people. You're significantly reducing your own player pool when you do that. So I really feel like the smartest thing for these companies to do is to offer them a reason to get it. And Sony knows this. And a good reason why you can point out that they know it is because they could have allowed Final Fantasy VII Remake to release on PC at the same time as PS4. But they saw that year buffer was incredibly helpful to them, and that game has sold millions and millions and millions of copies on PS4. So they realize that hardware needs software and it needs exclusives. So they're going to keep on doing that. Wise Old Gamer says, not as much as Jessica, but showing my support as well. Sorry about being, hey, no problem. Everybody hit the like button. Let's get up over 300 likes. That would be very much appreciated. Much love to everybody in the chat and stuff like that. You guys are absolutely amazing. But Mooch, don't you kind of feel that way as well? Like, they don't even have to release PS5 games next gen on PC at all. No. They've got some games that would maybe make a good fit.
That's what I've been saying. Already. Look, Crap, you're saying it in terms of PlayStation. I've been saying this even in terms of Xbox when Xbox announced this. I don't understand. The PC gaming space didn't have Halo. They didn't have Gears, okay? So if you said to them, hey, guys, guess what? We've changed our policy. We're now going to put our games on PC 6 months after it launches on console. The PC space would have been in an uproar of excitement because they didn't have it. Here's the thing. PC gamers don't get to play these games that are on PlayStation. PlayStation says, guess what? We're changing our policy. You will be able to play our games later. And that's fine because it used to be never. We went from never to later. Do you remember when your parents, you were a kid? Hey, can we go to fill in the blank amusement park? If they said no, you were like, shit. But then if they were like, maybe, you're like, I got hope.
Yeah.
There's hope. Crap.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to be honest with you. PlayStation knows that they can give hope and still make money. Microsoft, they literally, again, this is me. This is completely inside myself. I'm thinking this out loud. I really think that now that they see how things are going, they probably should, they can't change their mind now, but they legitimately were going to, they should have waited 6 months, Crap. They could have waited 6 months and got that product out, and the PC gamer never had it. So it is what it is, man. I don't know. Myself personally, Crap, I just think that we're in a time where PlayStation knows what they can do. They've got an amazing product, and they can release it when they want to.
I agree 100%. Listen, Microsoft kind of cool guide themselves because with these cards and with forcing Xbox gamers to pay to play online, and we can transition into that here in a second, you're looking at possibly making a PC $1,000 that's comparable to the Series X to begin with, but not having to pay anything for online, right? Getting cheaper games and playing games even better than what the Xbox Series X is going to play. So I really feel like that's that's incredible. That's an incredible thing. But speaking of that, which I kind of wanted to jump around because this is something that nobody's really talking about. So Xbox Live Gold, and we talked about it, I think maybe a little bit, but nobody, like, you would think that everybody would be up in arms about this because it's still no real answer or reason why. So Xbox Live Gold 12-month has been removed as an option on the Xbox dashboard itself. Okay, so you had 3 ways to get Xbox Live Gold: the 12-month for $60, the 1 month for $10 a month, or 3 months for $25. So the only options that are left now for a year of gold are continue to pay $10 a month, which equals $120 a year, effectively doubling the price of gold, or the 3 months at $25, which is $100 a year, which is $40 more expensive, or you get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $180 a year, which makes it $120 more expensive. To me, and nobody's talking about this, right? Microsoft has said, nope, gold's still an important feature. We're not losing it. It's not going to be free. You know, they've already kind of said that. We kept hearing it. Did you mention the Jeff Grubb? I missed the Friday show. Did he mention about why we're not seeing free live yet?
So here's what, guys, please understand that I'm paraphrasing Jeff. I'm not speaking for Jeff. But if I understood, his point was this, and I thought it was an interesting point. He said that what he thought when we spoke at, firsthand months ago, he said that he thought that free announcement would all come with the huge introduction of what Halo Infinite was going to be. He said because Halo Infinite is delayed, he goes, I think that's why you're seeing the 12-month come back. Everything is their plan is out of whack right now. So he goes, I'm not saying it's going to be free. He goes, eventually I think it'll be free. But he said and again, I'm paraphrasing, so please go back and check out Crossfire for his exact words. Don't go by mine right now. But he thinks that what he pitched originally before the July event crap is pending on the outcome and release of Halo Infinite, because they're going to have a free-to-play Halo multiplayer, right? So when that happens, he said that's why he thinks that they went and they retracted and came back to the 12-month plan, because until Halo's anywhere near complete, they can't take that away. You know what I'm saying? So his thought was it was all going to come down to when Halo comes out, the big reveal, and everything goes away because you get to play Halo Infinite multiplayer free. You know what I'm saying? And that was the thing. So he said when Halo went down, the plan for free went down. And that's why. And again, I'm paraphrasing. So please do not take my words exactly for what Jeff said. If you want to, and I don't mean to self-promote, but I'm just saying, please go watch the show and listen to what Jeff said on the show, because it's I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth. But I'm saying that's what his thought was. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. From his standpoint, it was an interesting take.
Yeah. The Wise Old Gamer says reality is that Xbox needs PC games to get a ROI on their games because the low install base. This is not a problem Sony has. I think he's saying that they don't have like the player base, so they have to use. And I agree with that, because if you look at it, and again, like it came out that 1 million people bought Flight Simulator. Is that a huge deal? I don't think of 1 million copies of something sold is a big deal these days, right? I mean, I don't know how many PC gamers are out there, but I know there's hundreds of millions of PCs. So like 1 million to me isn't this huge deal that people were making it out to be. And I mean, obviously it could still sell more, but when you look at something like Ghost of Tsushima selling, 3 million copies almost in 2 days, or, The Last of Us 2 selling almost 5 million copies in the first week, like those are pretty significant numbers, and people try to downplay those, but then we'll play up, Flight Simulator hitting 1 million. Like, I don't understand that whole situation, in my opinion. What is your kind of thoughts about that? Like in general, that Microsoft needs that PC needs PC more than like the console at this point. Like it almost seems to me, and you remember Worrywart, right?
Yep.
Worrywart used to say years ago, it sounds like Microsoft is hurting people towards other ways of playing their games, more so than their own console. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're trying to, they wanted to reach that 2 billion gamers. They thought they were going to do that with the console. They're not. Their chances now are more in the PC realm, and that's fine. Again, we all know that Microsoft doesn't care crap if you buy the game and you play it on PC, or if you buy the game and you play it on their console. They just want you to buy the game or the service in this case, okay, of Game Pass. So ultimately, they are hoping that PC is what pulls them through. The thing about it is you're seeing some sparks of revenue coming into Microsoft with the amount of people playing Flight Simulator and the amount of people that went and picked up, so say, Sea of Thieves on Steam. That's what they're aiming for right now. That's why I'm saying their future with the console, it's not questionable. I mean, they made a very capable machine in the Xbox Series X, but the fact that most games that came out this generation, or in this past year that catered more to the PC crowd, you can see they're going services and PC here. So when you say, well, I'm not worried, Xbox clearly has consoles in mind and clearly has the console gamer in mind, that's a question that's up for debate. And only the next 6 to 12 months is when we're going to find out just how serious they are about Xbox, because we haven't seen a game come out for strictly Xbox and not PC, but we have seen a bunch of titles now. And I don't think the end is near where games are going to be coming out on PC and they're neglecting the Xbox.
Yeah, like I said, I felt like it's kind of a bad situation to put your fans in.
Yep,
where Phil's even been on record as saying, no, not everything's gonna go to PC day and date, and not everything, you know what I mean? And then to date, and literally everything has gone. Like I couldn't imagine a first party game. Like, Mooch, do you agree with me on this fact? Phil Spencer would never allow a first party game go to Xbox first and then PC to be determined. He would never allow that.
No, I don't. No, I don't see that in their future. Like I said, I think they're catering to PC, Steam right now. That's who they're catering to, and Xbox is along for the ride.
Exactly. So the way I look at this is Phil Spencer, and I remember him tweeting this out not too long ago, where he's like, "We're earning the trust of PC gamers." Like, to me, he needs to earn the trust of console gamers still. Like, he still hasn't earned the console gamers' trust. He hasn't earned that, that sort of that feeling to win people back. Like, they're doing stuff for PC, sure, great, I'm fine. But what about console gamer? Like, as a console gamer, I don't feel like he's earned my trust or earned my money for next generation yet.
Right.
Like what are you thinking? Like, you release games on PC exclusively without even a release date on the console version. And so Age of Empires, Flight Sim, Gears Tactics, and not that I'm interested in those per se, but why is it that they can get these games and they don't pay for online and they can get all this stuff? I believe their version for just Game Pass for PC is $5.
That's the thing, Crap. And I got to be honest with you, it goes back. This topic kind of ties right into the last topic we were talking about with PlayStation games going to PC. PlayStation still puts their console players ahead of the PC. And that you're not seeing that same thing coming from the Microsoft camp. You're just not seeing that.
Exactly. That's totally where I'm kind of getting at when I talk about this stuff, and people kind of just go, blah blah blah. But for me personally, I feel like it's a huge deal, and Sony understands it. Like, even though people kind of jump on that whole, well, no, they're gonna continue to do, they're gonna put all their stuff on PC. No, it doesn't make sense for Sony to do that. It just, honestly, it does not 100% make sense for them to do that. The simple fact is they're still trying to sell their hardware, and I brought this point up before. There's a point where even if your games are on everything, where people they're just not going to care, okay? And I bring up Netflix because everybody likes to bring up Netflix when it comes to Game Pass, right? Netflix, we all look at this huge thing, but you'd be surprised. It's available on, 1 billion platforms. It only has 150 million subscribers, okay? Despite the number of platforms it's available on. Now, when you think about that, Sony themselves have like 120 million active users on PlayStation Network. That's a pretty incredible thing. Like, if you sell a lot of consoles, you obviously can get more subscribers, sell more software and stuff like this. I think, like, you put Crackdown 3 on everybody's device and it's still not going to increase anything because it's a bad game.
Yeah.
Okay? You got to have the content. You got to have the content first. Now, that's not to say if Sony were to put stuff everywhere, it wouldn't be a bigger hit. But in my opinion, the content is the stuff that really sells this stuff to people, right? Like, Jessica Pham, I see you. I appreciate it. I saw it, but they didn't ask a question. So There's not my. We appreciate it, Mooch and Crap, and we appreciate everything.
There's a second one, Crap. I think that's what the audience keeps talking about.
Oh yeah. They're showing. Oh, they missed out on Crossfire. Yeah, I missed out on Crossfire too.
That's what he says. So I don't know. Everyone keeps saying you're missing a big super. Shout out to Jack Wu and Jessica Pham. Outstanding.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I believe they're in Australia, so I don't even know what time it is there, but I'm pretty sure it's either late or it's early.
I want to say
it's late.
It's almost 1 a.m.
Yeah, wow, it's late. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. You guys stayed up and watching some Mooch and Crap and Nova. We got some really great stuff going on, man. But I want to kind of change the subject a little bit. A lot of people were sort of, talking about this. In your opinion, with everything that's going on with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, do you think they should just possibly just delay these consoles? There's obviously they both want to launch them. I like we're trying to do a talk show, but don't just tell me nah. You got to give me a reason.
Well, you're still talking. I just had to get my 2 cents in there. No, they're not going to delay it. I mean, there's no way they're going to delay it. Look where we are.
Yeah,
like you're at the 13th hour, Crap. You're going to delay it now? I got news for you. You're going to delay it now. You're going to have some angry gamers, big time angry gamers. And I don't think that's not a possibility. If they were going to delay, the delay would have had to have come in July or before the July 23rd showing, as far as Xbox is concerned. And it would have had to have come before the June showing for PlayStation. They both said that they're on track. Listen, this is not a delay. These delays that you're not hearing, pardon me, in console prices and release dates have nothing to do, I think, with manufacturing. I literally think it's a cat and mouse game of who's going to be the cheaper console, who goes first. You know what I mean? It's a classic rendition of who's on first, and that's the thing, Crap. That's what it is. So there will not be a delay. There will not be a delay on either front. The only thing that'll be the debate isn't who is going to be delayed. The debate is going to be who announces first. That's the debate.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing. I just don't really think overall that it makes much sense for them to delay either one of them. And I get that. What's going on with the lack of games and stuff. I do really wish that Microsoft, on the other hand, would have something to launch with. But the fact that they don't is realistically a big selling point for the PlayStation 5, because they actually are going to have stuff to sell, and I think that's going to be a big difference between them. They have games to actually go out there and sell.
Right.
Go ahead. Hold on, Mooch. Give me 1 second. All right.
Yeah, I'm hearing something with the microphone there. One thing I did want to get into, Crap, while you're fixing your microphone, I did want to talk about Marvel's Avengers because it's Marvel's Avengers weekend. And I'm getting a lot of people in the chat saying, oh, my God, Mooch, what do you think? I did do my review. It's on the channel.
Great review,
I'm
by the
enjoying
way.
Nova, right? Are you playing it as well?
I haven't picked it up, but, your review kind of made me look at the other side. I might pick it up once it's a little cheaper, but
understandable.
I'm open to it. I just got burned by Destiny year 1, so I'm a little apprehensive.
So Nova, great point, and I like where you're going with that, because the fact that there's a lot of the negatives to take away from Marvel's Avengers are some of the negatives that came into place with the original Destiny, and they did some things right out the gate. They did some things where not so right, but at the same time, I really think that the things that Marvel's Avengers has done that you guys are not in love with can be fixed, right?
Okay.
There's nothing in there where you're like, well, no, they did this and I'm just out. I can't take it. I just can't play that kind of game, Mooch. I get it. But that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened.
So for me, what burnt me out about Destiny was I didn't mind the dailies and the weeklies, but if you were a hardcore Destiny year 1 player, you were running, all classes. So for each character, you were doing the Nightfall. You know what I'm saying? The dailies, weeklies,
that better?
Nightfalls. Yeah,
a lot
sounds
better.
good.
Okay.
All that together, I mean, sheesh.
You still have certain things. So I get into this into the review, and I'll mention it here. Crap, we're talking about Avengers because it's Avengers weekend.
Yeah.
Basically, the long and the short of it is this: they have things called mega hives, which are a lot like those. Trying to think of what that would kind of be. It would kind of be like the help me here, the strikes. Okay, not quite. It's not the same thing, but it's like the strikes. And then they have something called AIM Secret Lab. And the AIM Secret Lab is very similar to raids. You need a team of 4. You have to be a certain level to even enter it. And you get, sweet, precious loot. Okay. And I understand everybody says they want the loot to show. That's another topic of discussion. But they do have things that are in the system that are very Destiny-like. But the difference between Destiny and Marvel's Avengers is, guess what, guys? You actually care about the Avengers. Like, you like the Avengers. True. You watch the movies, right? Each movie that came out grossed over $1 billion in like 2 days. So people love the Avengers. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun. Now, Nova made a good point. I want to bring up what Nova said. Nova said, I'm going to get into it, but at a cheaper price. That's fine. And this game crap, because it's September, it's probably going to drop to like $40 in about 2 months or a month and a half, and then it'll be like $30, come around holiday time. So if you want to wait, by all means wait. I'm not going to tell you, no, you're really missing out. Myself personally, I didn't play Destiny 1 as hardcore as I should have when it first came out. And then when I started playing Destiny 1 hardcore, all my friends that were playing it were like, some of them took me along for the ride, but I felt like I was always like, oh, don't worry, Mooch. We'll carry you through. Just come along for the ride. And I was like, I don't want to come along for the ride. I want to be a part of the team. So, so if you're that gamer, if you're like me and you're that gamer where you want to be a contributing factor and not along for the ride, I say get it more sooner than later if it entices you. I'm not trying to tell you to get it. Shout out to Salty. Salt, you might have missed the beginning of the show. We were talking about how me and Code were on Thursday's the Saltiest Gaming Podcast. It was a great show. Yeah. So shout out to Salt. Salt watched my review. Salt and me talked for a bit, and he says, you know what, Mooch? The hell with it. I'm buying this game. He bought it on PlayStation. He's loving it.
Yeah, so like I said, it's a great review you did, by the way. So shout out to you for doing a kick-ass review. But I also want to say that this was the first game that I bought, like third-party game, like new on the PlayStation. Right. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? Like, this is the first time that I've actually done that, and the reason being was strictly for the content, right? Like the extra content that's going to come, like the Spider-Man and stuff like that. So I feel like anybody who kind of misses out on that whole situation, understand why somebody would do that. I get tired as a fan of losing out on content. So to me, that's the number one reason why I did that. That's the number one reason why I bought the PlayStation version the first time. Like, I've bought other multiplats on PlayStation, but after or on sale or had gone significantly down, or I already had them on Xbox or whatever. This was a situation where I bought it day and date, on PlayStation. I'm enjoying it. And a lot of people that really get into their feelings about, oh, well, you're playing the worst version. Boy, when I'm playing that game, there's no worst version. I'm enjoying the heck out of the game. It looks great. It's playing great. I'm enjoying the game. Like, I feel like people are really overestimating that whole worst version, this version. And that kind of plays to what you were talking about earlier, where you were like, your friend playing on an S, doesn't matter to him that it's the S because he doesn't think anything else about it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that says it all. And that's exactly what I'm kind of talking about when it comes to this. Like, what do you think? What do you think about that? Like, you went with the PlayStation version as well. Yes. This was the first time for me. Like, everything else that I bought new this gen has been on Xbox first.
Yeah, and you know what, crap? That is a big move. This is the first time that you have done something like that. I've myself included, as far as games as a service is concerned. I went with PlayStation because we said it on MNC. We said it well over, it was almost a year and a half ago now, because we had the short delay in between. I said this, listen, if you're just going to give me a hat or a pair of boots, okay, or I'm going to get like a code for something just ridiculous, maybe some in-game currency so I can buy myself a different scarf. I'm not going to go ahead and deviate from the Xbox platform. But Sony is clearly making moves as we go into next generation. And the rumors are out there. It's not just Mooch and Crap saying it. This is out there now that Sony has made some big third-party moves going into, let's at least say, the next 12 to 18 months. Okay, we can't really reach out further than that. But it's been leaked by that gentleman that was he with Game Informer Khan, I believe his name is?
Yeah, Mr. Khan. He does kind of funny games now.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said that he's heard. So what Crap's alluding to, and what I'm going to just restate from many, 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 many months ago, and I've been saying it throughout the weeks, is that when Sony or Microsoft is going to give me, for the same dollar amount, more content, like legitimate game content, That's where I'm putting my money from now on. And if
Yeah.
Microsoft feels that it's not worth it for them to spend that money, then they're taking away from their audience, aka all of us, and I'm going to go and play. Because if you're going to give me an entire Spider-Man story and I get to be that character with level ups and uniforms and outfits and comic lore, I'm sorry, and it's the same exact dollar amount, I'm going to go ahead and play on the PS4 / PS5 in the future. We're all getting free upgrades, so we'll get to enjoy that as well. I do want to say shout out to a gentleman. I got to get his name. His name's Anthony, but I got to get his. He doesn't really use Twitter. Also, mooched me a copy of Avengers on PC, and I'll tell you something. I did play the PC version during the beta as well. Listen, let me just say this much for all you guys playing on Xbox and PlayStation right now, because the PC version is probably very similar to what you guys are going to see in the future. Wow, the game on PC it's breathtaking, to be honest with you. There's a word you don't use very often in gaming.
Yeah,
breathtaking. Right?
Yeah,
it's breathtaking.
Keanu Reeves, man, come on.
Yes, absolutely. It's breathtaking. But it is crap. It is a marvel to see. There's the pun you wanted to hear. But you know, I can't blame you, crap. You went there for the content, and for your dollar, why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree 100%. Like, if you're not going to give me content, to
get it somewhere else.
Then I'll get it someplace else. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you have to look past like the old kind, whatever it is, right? Oh man, I have feelings for Xbox, or Xbox did me good back in the day, and you have to live in the now, right? You have to kind of live in the now and just go, oh, to be completely honest with you, they're not giving me the content, you got to go someplace that is, and that's just the facts. Like, so it was kind of a thing, like, do I get it on PlayStation? Do I get it? No, I'm gonna get it on PlayStation. Most of my friends went to PlayStation anyway. You know, it's a really, really great game. And for me personally anyway, and I'm not really into a whole lot of games as a service, but I see what they're going for, and I think it could work out well for them in the long run. And the reason why I say that is because if you go back to the Xbox 360 era, like, we would get games like Iron Man games and it'd be low quality. Or remember Iron Man 2? I can remember, like, Sega made those two games or whatever. And the first one sold like 4 or 5 million units for some reason. But the games were terrible. But people bought them because of the names, right? And they were generic. There was even a Captain America game. And that was okay, actually. But, you know, it was even voiced by.
Do you hear crap? Do you hear what people are saying the negatives are to Marvel's Avengers? The thing that most people are complaining about, first of all, I've been playing it for quite a bit, and you got Salty in the chat, so you guys can even ask Salty as well. You can ask crap, he's playing it. People are complaining about the bugs in the game. If there is a bug here or there, it's by no means breaks the game. It may be an unusual thing. And listen, the game just launched and it's a massive game. So there's going to be patches, etc. Listen, I played Warzone this morning. There's still bugs in that. It's almost a year. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, there's bugs in all the. If it's not game breaking or really, really reduces your fun intake of the game, that's one thing. The other thing is people are like, well, you know, it's got, you know, no, I can't see the loot I pick up. All right. I get it. But like I was saying to crap before the show started, if they did change the appearance of Captain America and Thor and Iron Man, and all of a sudden Iron Man was wearing a vest with like a bunch of nails sticking out of it, because that's the first vest you picked up, a very low level, you'd be like, Iron Man doesn't wear a vest with nails sticking out of it. This is ridiculous. I'm not playing a game where I don't look like the Avengers. Like, they can't win, right? So it's like, if they made it altered, you'd be like, it doesn't look anything like the guy I always know. Then they don't change it because they keep the comic look. And everyone's like, well, that's kind of crap. I wanted to have sparkly gauntlets on. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So my point being is this. They had to make a decision. I think eventually you'll see a lot more skins. You'll see a lot more cosmetics coming your way, whether it be in-game purchases that you can make with money you earn, or maybe money you have to spend on your own microtransactions. Listen, I don't understand why people still get mad at microtransactions. Like, if you want to buy something in the game, buy it. But the person that's going to buy that crap, they're not going to have an advantage over me. If your Thor looks cooler than my Thor, no offense. Like, that's cool. I think it's cool. Maybe it'll invoke me to make the buy, which is what they want you to do. But it doesn't take away from my fun and my experience in the game. It doesn't change the gameplay. So we got to stop with all that nonsense. My other thing is this. I think that they made the right call leaving the Avengers looking the way they did. Maybe it's too safe Maybe it's too safe. I get that. But trust me, a ton more skins are coming down the line. So I don't see what the negative is here. Everybody's so like, I think that this thing does belong between a 7 and an 8. I didn't give a number. I don't do that on my reviews anymore. I either recommend the game or I don't. I don't do the number thing anymore. I know a lot of people are like, Mooch, put the number back on it. I'm like, guys, you know what I'm talking about. If I like the game, it's over an 8. And if I don't like it, it's under a 7. You know what I'm saying, basically?
Yeah.
But this game is probably an 8 for me. If I had to put a number on it, somewhere between a 7.8 and an 8. And I think it gets better. I think it gets a lot better. And Destiny 2 went from a 71 regular Destiny, Destiny 2 is 86 Metacritic. If Avengers 2 comes out, I can see this thing very easily sitting in the mid-80s. So this game's just going to get better and better. If you don't like it for those other reasons, I don't know why else you wouldn't really like it. It's fun with friends. It's comic book lore. It's not the MCU characters, but it's the Avengers, man. I don't understand what people aren't really liking about it, except for just being negative on the fact that it's a games as a service.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and I think that certain games as a service, like, to me, this game has a beginning and an end. Okay, like you play the campaign or whatever, and then you can play it with friends or do whatever. They're going to add more content to it as it goes. Like, I guess like Spider-Man's going to have his own standalone story or whatever, and they're probably going to release other characters. And I think that people don't like the microtransactions, but I haven't spent anything for on this game yet, you know, other than the game itself. So I personally don't understand that. Like we were talking about beforehand, before we went live.
Yeah.
Like you get a lot of loot and stuff, which is cool, right? Yeah. Like you get the chest or whatever, and you get gear. And I think that the gear is cool. The only thing that I said was like, you know, you get stuff that looks like it should go in your arms or whatever, and then nothing changes. Your character still looks exactly the same.
Right.
So like, I feel like maybe give us the option to alter the outfits a little bit. You know what I mean? With the look.
Crap. Can I entice you with something?
Yeah.
Maybe as the game stands, they can't change what's going on now. But can we fast forward to, I'm making this up, June of next year?
Yeah.
And they have a major update, which, you know, pardon me, let's be realistic, because Destiny did it every year, okay? So let's fast forward to September of 2021.
Yeah.
And now the Avengers and Crystal Dynamics has a huge announcement. Starting from this new DLC moving forward, all the gear you pick up will alter, because they can change that. They can change that on the flip of a switch, crap. Like, they can change that. If they want to have the artwork done, they can start doing that now, and they can start having it so that from the new DLC moving forward, whatever you acquire, because remember, I don't know how much you guys are big fans of games like Destiny, but once the new DLC comes out, generally the old gear you have, you're throwing away, and you're maybe recollecting the same gear, but a higher level. So everything that they can recreate in the higher level or the new gear will attach to your character. So that's stuff that can come along. So don't let that be a deterrent for not enjoying a game like this. That's what I'm saying. I just don't. And shout out to there's a gentleman in the chat here, Brian Stradley. He says Avengers. He goes, I've been a comic book superhero geek forever, but I'm really burned out on comics and comic-based games and movies, especially. That's fine. Brian, you have a valid answer. That's the first valid answer. If you're burned out on it and you just don't want to play it and the story doesn't interest you, I'm not going to talk you into it. But if you're just telling me I don't like it because I can't see the new helmet that Iron Man just got, I don't understand. It still powers you up. It still gives you better abilities. It still does what the loot's supposed to do. It just doesn't look different. And they're giving you the different appearances through cosmetic upgrades that you earn in the game. So your character still can look different than your friend's character. If you're both Iron Man, you can still look different, but you're not going to look as different as picking up the new gear. But I tell you right now, since the community's been so vocal, crap, I truly believe at the September 2021, the next DLC, some of the loot that you pick up will be recognizable when you wear it.
Yeah, like I said, that would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying, like, oh, you want to look, but I think like you should have that little bit of option. You know, like if you have armbands or whatever, like why not put them on? You know, like and I just feel like that's the way it should be. I can't remember if that was the case for like the Ultimate Alliance games. I think nothing really changed when you got loot or whatever, because that was kind of like that. You know, you get loot and then you could put it on your character, but I don't think anything really changed. But I love the way that they've kind of done this in the story and stuff like that. What they've kind of accomplished with that, I think it's really good. A lot of people ask me, is it worth getting? I think this game is worth getting, and I think it's an investment because it's something you're going to be playing even when the next generation comes out, and they get free upgrades too. it's going to be the free upgrade to the PS5 and Xbox Series X version. It's super smart delivery, Mooch. That's what it is.
Super duper smart.
Super duper smart delivery.
Yes.
Hey, everybody, hit the like button. I appreciate it. You guys are rocking out with us. It means a lot to me and us in general that you guys are out here supporting the channel. We know it's a Sunday and, everybody gets kind of busy or whatever.
It's also Labor Day weekend crap. It's
it is.
A lot of people are out.
It is. So that is really interesting. So Digital Foundry also was talking about the new cards and Xbox Series X and PS5 and sort of alluded to the fact that we might see mid-gen refreshes now, which got me kind of thinking. It was sort of weird because if you think about this, we've never gotten mid-gen refreshes from Microsoft or Sony before. I can remember being staunchly against that, right? Like I was just like, I just want to play my games, and then how quickly things change, right? But funny thing is if we do mid-gen refreshes, and I thought about this right away, you're looking at Microsoft not having much for 2023 anyway. If they come out with a mid-gen refresh in 2023, 2024, doesn't that make the Series X even more of a scam?
Yeah, because there's no games launching with the Series X. So if we're going to sit here and say that 2022, 2023, oh, don't worry. If Sony has a PS5 Pro, Microsoft will have an Xbox Series X Pro. I'll tell you, that means the Series X is going to have the same fate as all of us that bought the Xbox One X, right? We didn't get any true games to show the power. So here's my take. I said this before on the show, crap. I'll say it again. Again, this is just my opinion, guys. I don't have any articles or links to bring you to it. But Microsoft went all out for this. And they also are bringing two SKUs, right? The Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, crap. So with those two SKUs, why would they bother making a Pro? They have a 12 teraflop machine that's a monster. Sony, on the other hand, has a PS5 coming out at 10.3 teraflops, has games coming out that are utilizing the power of it from day one. So the minute you buy this console, you're already utilizing the PS5's power, and moving forward, it'll only get better. I truly believe, I don't know if I'm right with 2023. That could be wrong. It might be spring of 2024. I don't know when. But I can tell you this much. I truly believe that there will be a PS5 Pro in our future, and it will be sometime between holiday 2023 or spring of 2024, depending on, just the way the market is and the way things are going. That's a Sony problem. That's a them problem, not me. But crap, I think you're going to have a PS5 Pro, and I think that'll supersede the 12 teraflops. And I don't think Microsoft's going to have a mid-gen because, like you said, why would they have a mid-gen when we just said that games like Avowed, Everwild, right? Those big games that we saw were coming, possibly Ninja Theory. Those games are all coming out. Hellblade 2. Those games are coming out probably between 2022 and 2023. I don't know if you're going to be able to get the consumer to go and spend another $500-$600 at that point when the games are just releasing around the same time Sony's going to have a PS5 Pro. So I don't know.
I mean, listen, it's just one of those things for me personally. I feel like Sony would probably do that because and the reason why I say that is for a couple of reasons. First of all, I feel like they're going to have another VR unit at some point, and I feel like they're going to want more power for that. I think the VR will work with the launch PS4 or PS5, just fine. But I feel like you'll get the ultra experience with the PS5 Pro, right? And I also think, believe it or not, we're getting closer and closer to I don't know if 8K is going to be a thing, but better TVs are coming out and stuff like that, and I feel like Sony's going to want to better support it. Listen, I had a hell of a time, Mooch, finding a TV that supports 4K at 120 hertz.
Right.
There's not many out there.
No, there really isn't. The HDMI 2.1. I think you did you end up grabbing the CX crap?
Yes, I'm in about a week's time. Yeah.
Okay, that TV has that. So
yeah.
I myself personally, that's why I'm PC gaming. I'm putting my money into that. The TVs that I just bought within the past year or 2 years all don't have that. The one TV I have, two TVs I have claim that they can get up to 120 hertz.
Only 1440p, right?
Yeah, I don't think it'll hit the 4K mark.
Yeah.
So
because it's because of the
I'm okay with that personally.
Yeah, it's the HDMI 2.1 thing, right?
It is.
That's basically it is. It's like that's why the CX is a good choice. And somebody pointed that in the chat last week and was like, "Hey, you should try this." And then I looked into it, and it supports all the stuff that you would need, like VSync and all that kind of other stuff as well. So I think that's good. King Don says, "What's your guys' most anticipated next gen games?" personally, I'm looking forward to like Spider-Man and the next Horizon. Obviously, if it's going unannounced, I think God of War would be a big one for me. What about you, Mooch?
Well, I answered them in the chat. I mean, I went a little bit more of what we know is coming down the pipeline. Horizon Forbidden West is definitely coming down the pipeline. So I didn't add that with Ratchet and Clank, Miles Morales, Demon Souls. I mean, for me personally, like I just got done. I'm 2 trophies away still. I've been playing all these new games now with Avengers, and you guys aren't going to believe this, but I'm almost maxed out on Falls Guy. I love Fall Guys. So I'm enjoying that as well on some of the free time I have. So I haven't really gotten to Platinum Bloodborne. I'm hoping to do that maybe tonight or tomorrow. But my point being is this. Really looking forward to Demon Souls. Like the fact that Demon Souls is getting I've never played Demon Souls. That was a PS3 game. Crap, it's day and night. It's day and night on the way that this game looks. Blue Point is probably one of the most just one of the best talents out there. So I'm really looking forward to Demon Souls. I know it got delayed till I believe June timeframe, but I can't wait to play Bethesda's Deathloop. And then I'm excited also for Godfall at launch. So those are the ones at launch. If you want to go beyond that, I'll agree with Crap. And I'll say that I'm really looking forward to seeing how they kind of evolve Horizon. I wasn't a big Horizon Zero Dawn fan. Like I didn't care for it as much as everybody else. I'm hoping they take that and they take the ball and they run with it and give us more to do besides the typical, like, you know, it was almost like the Ubisoft methodology in the first Horizon, you know, where you claim over this territory, blah, 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 you can go over here. And it just was for me, it was status quo. And that was okay. I just hope they build on it. And of course, I can't wait for God of War 2.
Yeah, I mean, you really went much more in depth than I did. Miles Morales, obviously, Ratchet and Clank is looking good.
Yes.
Even if it's stuff that's announced, I'm looking forward to Fable. I know that's still a few years away, but you know me, man. I'm a Fable fan, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it.
Oh, absolutely.
So that and Avowed as well. See,
definitely Avowed's high on my list. Fable, I have a lot of questions for. Crap.
Yeah, well, I'm a Fable fan, so I'm a big Fable fan. So yeah, like I enjoy that game and that series, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Playground Games can do with it. But again, I just think that we're 2023, 2024 for those games, right? Like I think that's when we're going to get them, and that's why I have such an issue with this. Like, how can Microsoft not be more ready for next generation? That's what kind of perplexes me as a fan is. How can you have nothing for your fans? Like, we give so much, and we took so much crap this generation, Mooch. We did.
Yeah.
Like, at least we had games early on, and now it's like a point where we don't even have games, but it's like we get the crap still. You know what I mean? And it's like people nowadays like turn everything positive that Microsoft does, and I'm not admitting that they don't have some good games coming.
Right.
But damn. 3 years is a long wait considering you're already going this year with no AAAs. Like that to me is kind of unacceptable. Nova, what next gen games are you looking forward to, my friend? I think people want to know.
Oh, so I'm there with Mooch. I'm definitely looking forward towards Demon Souls. Huge Souls fan over here. Deathloop looks amazing. What they're doing with the controller, I believe it's Deathloop, right? Where if you're out of ammo, it'll actually lock the trigger.
It can jam, it can jam it and stuff like that. Yeah.
God of War is a must. I'll share the story another time, but I met Cory Barlog a couple months after I beat God of War, and I tried asking about anything about the sequel, and he was tight-lipped. But I think that will be the one for PS5 that will like redefine the generation. So yeah,
I'm looking forward to that too. Like Deathloop has my interest as well. Like I feel like they're doing something a little bit interesting that maybe we haven't seen before, which I think is pretty cool. And I also think that, like you said, Mooch, there's a lot of stuff that's coming that realistically looks really good. I'm very interested in. One thing that I noticed is none of us said Cyberpunk. You know what I mean?
True. Wow.
Well, so Cyberpunk is literally for me. I don't know, man. I got mixed emotions on it. Crap. First of all, so I told you this, Crap. So Crap doesn't have to put his seatbelt on. He's already prepared for it. Cyberpunk will be the game. There's only one game that two games, but one single player game that I have prepared to play solely on PC. Cyberpunk 2077, I will be buying on PC and PC only. I think that's a game that is going to be It's going to be okay. It'll be some fun. I'm not necessarily that excited about it personally because much like The Witcher 3, which The Witcher, since the miniseries came out on Netflix, I've even gotten more into Witcher. But Cyberpunk looked like it's all over the place. The story's all over the place. We don't really you ask anybody. I've asked a few people that are huge Cyberpunk 2077 fans. I'm like, so what's it about? And they're like, well, it's so big. I don't really know. You go over here, you can do this, and I'm like, dude, you're all over the place. Like nobody knows what the game's about.
It's a game about nothing.
It's a game about nothing that you just continuously walk around and whatever. So I'm like, listen, the game is also it could be a buggy mess at launch. We don't know. I just myself personally, I think it's a fun game for you to kind of pick at and get through because it's going to take you forever to beat. It's going to be like The Witcher. It's going to be like 600 hours. But the thing about it is that it's just one of those games that I don't know a clear what we're doing in it. I think the world is cool. I think the futuristic look, like it's got that same Total Recall kind of city vibe, right? Crap, where you're not in that globe like you're on Mars, but like at the same time, it's that futuristic world where like everything rains and it's just everything goes, and it's that who cares attitude, and I like that. I want to see where it's gonna go, but it's not something that I would say that I'm super excited for. I feel like it's a game that we've played a number of times before, just not in that world, not that universe. So I don't know. We'll see. It's to be told still.
Yeah, like for me personally, a lot of people go, well, are you really interested in that game? And I have to say, not really. And it's not because I think it's going to be bad. I think it'll probably be a good game. But just like you, I just don't feel like, it's one of those games where I'm going to play a bunch on it. Like I played Witcher 3 a lot, but then it got really kind of boring. And I know a lot of people are going to hate that I said that,
Agreed.
but if there were parts of that game that were really boring. And for me personally, I feel like if a game isn't fun and doesn't grab me and keep me into it, I'm probably not going to stick around for the entire game. And so even though I thought that the game, and then, I was very interested, I got the DLC for it, and I was like, I started the DLC because you didn't need to finish the main quest to do the DLC. Like you can automatically like upgrade your character or whatever. But then it was still kind of boring. Like, and that's a me thing. Totally. Like, I think that's that's definitely a me thing, but I just feel like when it comes to what they're doing with Cyberpunk, I'm like you, like, what the hell is this game about? Right? Like, what is it? Does anybody in the chat know what this game is about? Please, anybody?
Is that
somebody?
You sound like I don't know what's funny. You sounded like Charlie Brown there. Remember that Christmas? He's like, does anybody know what it's about?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Nobody has any idea. Like no one ever probably saw that. The Peanuts Gang. Nobody probably even saw that one. But nonetheless, my point being is like, that's the thing. When I ask people, what's it about? Like even the people in the chat right now that are like, I'm psyched. I can't wait. Day one, Cyberpunk 2077, game of the year. What's it about? Well, Mooch, it's about the future. And like, there's things going on. And, you do this, you go over there. You got to talk to this guy. You go over there. And, there's stuff to do. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I want to kind of get into the game. I want to know what's happening in the game. So Lazam says, there you go. Mooch, Lazam, I'm looking to see if you wrote anything. I'm looking to see if you wrote anything up ahead. I don't know. There you go. I didn't go anywhere. I just, like, I don't know. So, like there, TF in the chat says Cyberpunk's going to be fire. TF, what is the game about? Like, what is it? Like, part of it's like it has like that area crap. You saw the latest reveal where you're kind of like in Detroit, where you go in and you can solve crimes, right? And stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. But that didn't look
anything like. Are you a cop?
I don't know. I don't think so. I thought you were like a renegade.
Are you Keanu Reeves or something?
I think Keanu's in the game. We haven't all these updates. I haven't seen what he's doing. I don't know.
Keanu Reeves.
Everyone's like, it looks great.
Not a real person. He like lives in your head.
It's in your head.
Nova?
Yeah. So
so he's your subconscious.
He's like your subconscious. Yeah. Johnny Silverhand. And
okay.
I mean, this game, it's an adaptation of a board game from like the 80s or something. So they're kind of making their own spin on it.
Again, I want to reiterate, Nova, the game looks beautiful.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks great. I get it. But when I
looks like it's gonna run like crap on the Xbox One.
I don't think it's gonna run. Yeah, it's not gonna run very well on current gen consoles. And I don't know. I think the game is going to do very well. So listen, I'm not saying it's not gonna do well. It's gonna sell like hotcakes. CD Projekt Red has a great track record. And they're very confident about what they're doing. They have all these shows that are coming out once a month, and they're showing more and more about the game. So the game's gonna do well. I'm just saying, like, do I want to? Like, is that the game I'm going to put 300 hours in, and I'm not going to play Miles Morales? I got Demon Souls. I just said that. I'm hoping The Last of Us 2 Factions multiplayer comes out sometime in the launch window. There's so much stuff that's going on. I don't know. And then there's the new Call of Duty's coming out. And that game's, listen, I've always been a Call of Duty fan. You guys know I'm more of a multiplayer fan than following around Captain Stu Nuts. But I got news for you. Captain Stu Nuts has done a hell of a job the past 2 years. So, maybe this story's going to be just as good as last year's crap. I don't see why it wouldn't. Are you going to put all those games down to play Cyberpunk and you don't know what's going on? What's besides it being beautiful and being a Blade Runner looking game? Shout out to I think it was Fun Creator in the chat who said that. Like, besides that, like, what is it? Like, I've even asked. There's nobody writing anything in the chat. Nobody knows.
I just asked on Twitter, and somebody's response was, story. Why not gameplay? Most PlayStation guys only care about story, not gameplay. So I responded, they just told me he didn't know. You know what I mean? Because exactly. Nobody knows what the heck the game's about. This is unbelievable.
No.
I never even thought about that before. You're right.
Do stuff. I mean,
All right. We should be back.
Nova's back.
All right. We should be good now. I just added another input. For some reason, the one we were using just...
Nova sounds like a...
Nova, you sound like a robot. You're botting. There you go. You're back.
All right. Am I good?
Oh, you sound a little body.
You're still botting.
It sounds slow, doesn't it?
It does sound slow.
Okay. Well, it says that we're good, so maybe Nova can't talk. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I hear us. I hear us fine, but we can't hear Nova. So Nova, I guess.
Okay, I do hear us. We are back. We're back.
We're back. We're back. Okay, good. So yeah, everybody hit the like button. Let's share it out. We still got a little bit. Why am I hearing an echo?
I do hear an echo. I don't know if the audience will hear that crap, but
yeah. Hey, Nova, you might have to mute your mic
Okay.
to work on that. I don't know.
yeah, Nova, you might have to mute.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
might be
there we go.
better.
Sorry, Nova, you're just gonna have to chill for the next 20 minutes.
So what's our next topic, crap?
Oh well, I mean, we have so many topics. It's hard to really.
I know.
Yeah, it's hard to
Where do
really
you go from here?
Exactly. So, okay, let's see. Speaking of that, it looks like we are getting your favorite game. Oh wait, no, you know what? I want to ask this question because this is something I wanted to talk about earlier. Do you think the Xbox Series X is the most pointless console of all time?
You know, that's a loaded question, crap. I don't necessarily know. I kind of felt like we were doing that dodgeball there. I was like, you know, it's an interesting strategy you went there, crap. I don't know. I think that is it pointless? Man, I'll tell you, it's I don't want to say yes because I think that it's always exciting to have a next generation upgrade. I've always loved next generation console upgrades. So I can see people being like, no, I don't care. I want to go get a next generation upgrade and I want to play my third party games there. They're going to look great, right? Because like Cyberpunk, well, from the word on the street too, crap, Cyberpunk 2077 upgrades for PS5 and Xbox Series X are not coming at launch. So that's going to be, I think that's coming early or sometime next year. So if you really want that true next generation, you have to play it on PC. If not, you'll have to wait. So yeah, I don't know, crap. I guess the answer, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, and I don't mean this in a negative way. If you guys want to go out there and buy a Series X, by all means, please go buy the Series X. But yeah, I understand where people are saying, is it the most pointless? It doesn't have any first-party games, and if you don't care about those AA games that are coming out, that are exclusive to the Xbox for a short period of time, yeah, or how your third-party games may look just for the interim, you know, the November, December, January timeframe. Yeah, I don't know if you necessarily have to run out to go buy an Xbox Series X day one. I don't think you need to. Xbox is very vocal that you're going to be able to play all these games on the Xbox One X. So I don't know, man. I hate to be like that. Guys, please believe me in the chat and folks that are listening later. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer by no means. I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm just generally saying if you don't care about how the few multiplats will look between now and maybe February of next year, or, you know, November and February of next year, I don't know, crap, if you necessarily have to go run out and give Microsoft $500 or $600 for their next gen console. See, Sony has put a caveat, a clause out there that they're going to have PS5 exclusive titles. So if you don't care about Miles Morales and you don't care about Demon Souls and you don't care about, you know, the list goes on and on, Deathloop, and you don't care about Godfall, and you don't care about, well, then I guess you don't really need to. But I do. I can't wait to play. As a matter of fact, I might even play Spider-Man again if it's up-resed and remastered to PS5 and play Miles Morales.
Which was the rumor because it looked like that kind of leaked in the Game Informer issue where they were saying you're going to get the full game or whatever. I don't know what that. I mean, would you would buy the whole game again if it included that? Well, would you just buy Miles Morales?
I thought I'm only buying Miles Morales. I thought the rumor was that if you buy Miles Morales, I thought they were going to throw in the remaster.
Yeah, they weren't really clear with that. That would be cool. Maybe that's a good way to get $60.
Buy it again right now. That because I've already beaten it and I've already played it. If they provide it to me, I can't wait. But if it's going to be a situation where I have to buy the remaster of the Spider-Man, then I will certainly wait till that goes on a very, very deep discount.
Yeah, like for me personally, I think the beginning, like, you know how the end of a generation, like we're at now, we tend to get a lot of remasters and stuff like that. I actually don't mind that. I kind of mentioned that on Twitter not too long ago. Like I was playing through Destroy All Humans or whatever that is. Yes. It's kind of a fun game. Like it looks pretty good now. And I guess the what the hell is Kingdoms of Amalur or whatever that is. Yes. That was a game that I got on 360 back in the day. Really liked it. But other games came out and they got lost in the shuffle. So that's a game that I beat Mafia 2. I might pick up the Mafia remake. Crisis, is that something that interests you at all? You like a Crisis fan?
I played Crisis 2 back in the day. Crap, no, I don't.
Yeah, it was boring, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I didn't think that. I thought it was kind of boring. I didn't think that they did a good job with the storytelling. They were kind of like, I compared those Crisis games to what Guerrilla Games was doing with Killzone. Like, I just thought that, you know, at the time, they weren't great stories. They were good-looking games, but they weren't great stories or anything like that. That's why I was surprised that, Horizon Zero Dawn was pretty good, and, they were able to kind of accomplish a story-driven game when their stories in, like, the Killzone games kind of sucked. So I mean, again, that's just kind of my opinion on that situation anyway. But, like, what about you? Like, do you think that, are you okay if we get remasters for next generation? I feel like we're running out of time for remasters because things are backwards compatible, but I still like them because they can give you new achievements and new trophies and things like that. Like, I would love to see Sunset Overdrive maybe remastered. They could do 4K 60 with HDR on the PS5 next gen. Like, I would love to see that, or the Resistance series on the PS5.
You're answering the question in an interesting way. Crap, you did just answer the question. So the answer is yes. I don't mind remasters going into a new generation, but it depends on the title. Okay, you just said, Sunset Overdrive. If PlayStation, because now that's a PlayStation owned IP. If they get that game and they make that game and they add some more creatures on the ground level and they make it a little bit more appealing to the eye, that's one that I would definitely want to have on a PlayStation side and get trophies for, et cetera, et cetera. Other games, no, don't care. So remasters, sure. If you want to do them sparsely and make them worth our time and effort and really put that TLC into them, yes. But I'm not going to sit here, crap. And Resistance is another one. You said Resistance. I've been clamoring for that online on Twitter, so I'll stay true to my word. If Resistance 1, 2, and 3 were able to be remade and get that PS5, whatever they can do to give it the polish there and bring it up, and I can get all the trophies on PS5, absolutely, sure. But to say that, like, there's other games out there that I frankly wouldn't care about.
Yeah, like, I like it because I feel like it's a good way to get possibly people interested in games that, to see if there's going to be a future for those games. Now, one of those I think is the Mafia series, which I love that series. I played the second one, the third one. The second one I played on the 360, and that game was so good. I think they gave it away with the games with gold or something on 360. This was before it was backwards compatible. So I put off Next Generation because I was so wrapped up in playing this game. So, of course, I bought the remaster, and I've enjoyed it. I beat that, and the music is there. And then, of course, Part 3 was one of my favorite games of, what was that, 2015,
oh, God. Was that
2016?
Geez, I'll look it up, crap. But I
think it was 2016. It was 2016 because
17 or 18.
No, it was 2016, and the reason why it was 2016 because Hellhammer actually paid for Gears 4, and he paid for Mafia 3, and that's rare because in our
2016.
2016, because it's rare for that dude to have paid for anything we game share, and it's usually me. Like, there's like over 1,000 games, and I think he's paid for 10 of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see what you were saying there. I think now, crap, remind me here. I was also very fortunate on PC. I got the trilogy pack gifted to me, but I didn't start it yet as far as Mafia 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Are those that trilogy is or is not the remaster? Pardon.
I don't know. I don't think that it's like the first one had to get totally remade, right? Because that was like a PS2 game or something, or Xbox game. So I think that what we're getting now is a total remake.
Okay, so the trilogy that I have is that I was just given about a month and a half, 2 months ago. That trilogy of 1, 2, and 3 on the PC is not the upgrade, or because it's the PC version?
Yeah, I know, because they haven't released the first remake yet. So yeah, so like that game released in 2002, the first one.
Got it.
So that was for the original Xbox and the PlayStation 2. So yeah, that was a little bit of a, that's an old game. So that's why they had to completely like remake that. I think when you play Mafia 2, that's just they did a good job remastering that, but it's not like a total upgrade or anything like that like the previous ones were. So, I feel like they did a really good job with that and sort of kind of getting people to sort of maybe get into that franchise, because I would like to see that franchise continue on. Now, the interesting thing with Kingdoms of Amalur or whatever, that game kind of reminds me a little bit of Fable, but that was Kurt Schilling's studio. Remember, he had his own studio or whatever, and that was a situation where they went under real fast or whatever. And so I'm surprised. Not only are they getting the game remade, but they're also doing it where they're getting more content, like somebody added more content or whatever. So I would love to see that succeed. And the reason why I'd like to see it succeed is because I don't feel like we have enough of those like fantasy RPGs and stuff like that, in my opinion, so I kind of like those.
So Crap, let me ask you this, because I did put in for a review code, and I was talking to Chris, who's the guy in charge of that company that we deal with when you request a review code. I've heard that the Kingdom of Amalur's game that you're talking about, I heard that even though it's supposed to be like a remake, it still looks very much like a 360 PS3 game.
I mean, you would figure they would just kind of upgrade it. I thought it looked pretty good back then as well.
How does it look now? Are you playing it now, or
no? I don't have it yet. I was going to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I don't know. I didn't get. Yeah, I haven't gotten a review copy for that either. But I was told by someone who is playing it currently for review that it looks very much like a PS3 360 game. They did a few tweaks here and there, Crap, but nothing substantial that would make you feel like it's a current gen game or brought up to where our expectations are now.
Yeah, like I'm looking at some screenshots. I think it looks pretty good. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's like for me, I don't think Dark Souls games look good.
Well, that's okay, and that's okay for you to say. I think that the Dark Souls Remastered is a decent upgrade from the original on 360. But I will say this much: you're not wrong in saying that, and I'm very vocal on my Twitch streams, and I'm very vocal on the channel about how I feel about Bloodborne. Bloodborne has an unbelievable atmosphere, Crap. But for me to sit here and tell you that the 2015 version I'm playing right now on PS4 is like knock your socks off, unbelievable to the eyes, it's not. It's not. That's why everyone's really excited for Bloodborne to get a PS5 upgrade or a PC port. Everybody wants to see this game and this allure and this world that they put us in with unbelievable graphics, lighting fidelity, all that good stuff that we're going to get next generation. People want to see that coming through with the world they've created. But no, you're right. It's nothing that dazzles right now.
Yeah, I mean that's just basically my point is, we kind of get these things and like I don't care. Like to me, like the game looks fine. Right. I don't know 100% like what's going to be like, but I guess it's coming out soon or whatever. Like I got the Tony Hawk game, and those are okay. Like yeah. Well, listen, right? Like I fell for the nostalgia thing too. Like I get it. People love this. Like if you grew up in the 90s or whatever, you love these games. I remembered them a little bit differently. I might have been thinking about some other skateboarding games, but literally, like I'm playing, and I haven't really experienced like done a lot of the other stuff. So I'm Tony Hawk. Like I see people creating their own character. I'm like, where the hell do you do that? I'm Tony Hawk. Right? Like I'm stuck as being Tony Hawk. So I'm Tony Hawk, and I remember playing this game, and it comes back to me. I remember playing this game on my Dreamcast back in the day, and I never even got past the first part, which is like that warehouse level or whatever. And the reason being is it's just time stuff. You get 2 minutes on each thing, and then you have to get like each letter to the word skate or get a certain amount of points, and you have to accomplish like 5 or so of these things before you can go on to the next thing, which means you have to keep replaying them over and over again, and it ends up just kind of being a little bit redundant. These games really got great scores, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Like I thought maybe there was like a story and you're, a skateboarder and you're like on a campaign or something, but it's really not like that. It's something that's a little bit kind of odd to me anyway. Yeah. So, I think it's fun. And I think that I guess some of the later Tony Hawk games are really poor received, and they weren't really like great games or anything. But for me personally, it's like, it was kind of interesting to sort of see the way this kind of worked out. Not exactly the game that I thought it was. I mean, we were talking about that like before we went live or whatever. But like I like the remasters and stuff and the remakes because they can breathe life into something. Like now that brought up a lot of nostalgia, so you might see another one where they might take that old school gameplay and kind of upgrade it or whatever. So like that's interesting to me. Also, kind of what I want to talk about almost lastly is The Witcher 3 gets a free next gen upgrade. It's going to have ray tracing, all that kind of stuff. Are you excited by that, Mooch? You get to play it on another console generation.
So, listen, I mentioned it a week ago or so, Crap. I'm trying to take 2 games and I'm doing a slow burn with them as we move forward into the next generation. On the PlayStation side, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima nice and slow, just kind of getting into that. Of course, Marvel's Avengers has now pulled me away from Ghost of Tsushima again. I just never win here. That's fine. That's a me problem. On the Xbox side, I have started The Witcher 3 from the beginning again. Now, am I going to get, I'm not going to 1,000 out of 1,000 at Crap. I'm not going to do every single side quest. but I'm going to try and run through that and at least get through the main missions before next generation consoles launch. And I mean, on the Xbox Series X side, if it does get that upgrade, which we're promised to get, like you mentioned, well, that's fine and dandy. I'll take that with me, and I'll enjoy the rest of whatever I'm finishing around November when that upgrade comes out or prior to. My point being is just that, am I excited for it? Sure. If they're going to just throw that in there, fine. Right, Crap? It's a free upgrade for those that own it, right? Right.
Yeah, it's a free upgrade. I mean, they're going to sell it as a PS5 and Xbox Series X game as well, but it's a free upgrade if you already own the games. Yeah.
So if you're a mooch, you can't really argue with that. It is what it is. But I'm not going to say that I'm excited about it. I saw that. I think it's good fan service. The game is, listen, whether you finished it or not, or even if you played a third of it, okay, Crap, it is one of the better games of this generation. I will say that much. And it's funny because here we went in on Cyberpunk, and maybe Cyberpunk will surprise us too. But The Witcher has just the lore to it, and there's I believe there's books written on The Witcher, and it goes back. I think there's actually novels or comics on Cyberpunk as well. But The Witcher has a main protagonist that has this lore that I think a lot of people really can get behind. And if you don't believe me, you can see that The Witcher series on Netflix is doing very well. And that was being criticized when it was first announced too. They didn't think that Henry Cavill and others were going to be the right cast. They are absolutely the right cast. It's probably one of the better shows I've seen. I think The Witcher, for me personally, is the only thing that's going to compete with taking the place of Game of Thrones for someone like myself. So I'm very excited for The Witcher.
True Witty says, good to see you, Crap. I want Sunset Remastered too. Yeah, I think that'd make perfect sense. See if you can get some fan base going on it on the PS5. There certainly wasn't one on the Xbox. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't even get people to download that game for free. I think honestly that game might have a better chance with the PlayStation crowd, don't you?
Yeah, no, I do. You on which game now? True Witty, you mentioned what?
Sunset Overdrive
yes,
for a remake on or remaster.
Crap, because you have the entire PlayStation audience that didn't get to play it, and you're talking about it more than likely they're not going to give you the Xbox One version, so it'll be a PS5 boost up. But you do have to understand that Insomniac's only so big. They're doing Miles Morales. They're rumored to be doing the remaster of the Spider-Man game, and they also have Ratchet and Clank coming out. So how much are they really going to do? If you're going to see Sunset Overdrive on the PS5, Crap, I think it's going to be holiday 2021.
I mean, listen, it would be cheap. You could release it it came like the original one had DLC. Release it for $40. See what you can do. See if people are interested in it. If they are, then go ahead and put it out there. You know what I mean? I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, no, sounds like a great idea. Did we lose Crap's microphone again? I'm not sure.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
I heard a little crackling. I said, I don't know. Maybe we lost him again. I'm not 100% sure. What's next on the docket, Crap? What do we got?
That's it, man. We're at the limit.
Wow, we are at the 2-hour mark, aren't we?
Yeah, we're done, man. We're done.
Listen, this is how much I love MNC, Crap. I love it so much that it flies by. Sunday mornings are just a lot of fun. I know it's Sunday afternoon by the time we finish, and football starts next week. Sports! But Crap, I don't know what we're going to do. Are we going to go 11? Are we going to actually stick to an 11 o'clock start time?
I don't know, man. You know what? I think I'd be fine either way. We could go 11:30 to 1. We could go 11. It doesn't matter to me, man.
I don't care. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I know that this year's football season is a little bit more trying to stay in line with our regular sports lineup than what baseball did. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know if necessarily missing the first half hour of this season's football is going to be that big of a deal, but our teams play on the East Coast. So we're generally the 1 o'clock games for the most part.
I mean, listen, if this was a normal season, I'd be chomping at the bit. I'd have, platters of meats and cheeses. Oh, yeah! And, you know what I mean? It'd be a big deal. Things aren't the same. And, and it does kind of take it out of it a little bit. But to be honest with you, I've been chomping at the bit to see what my team can do. Obviously that the last time they played was that law. Like they didn't play like that all season. And then they play like utter crap in the playoff. You know what I mean? Like that was just blew my mind. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do. And they got some new pieces on defense, and so it is exciting. But at the same time, I'm not as excited like I used to be. So hopefully, it'll be fun though. I'm excited. Sports. Hit the like button, y'all. Let's get up to over 400 likes. I would appreciate it. Means a lot. So you guys have been amazing. I want to thank Nova for coming out here and doing this. We had one technical difficulty, but other than that, it was flawless. Other than that, so yeah, that was really good. Make sure you guys catch Nova's show. Nova, what day's your show?
Thursday nights.
Thursday nights. Yes. So that's good. And make sure you guys subscribe to Nova and Mooch. Actually, I'm going to start putting your guys' links to your channel.
We got to do that. That'll also be on mine next week. We'll have a whole MNC thing under the description. Absolutely, Crap.
Exactly. So yep. So hopefully we can do that. And then we'll catch you guys next week. So hopefully Nova gets this and puts the little music in there. And thank you guys very much for watching. Subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Rack them up. Peace.
See you next week.
Later. See ya.